Navy medic Elena Rodriguez takes 7 blade wounds defending a wounded Marine from insurgent attack. When word spreads through the Corps, 100 Marines arrive at her hospital room door, not for ceremony but for war. The explosion throws Elena Rodriguez against the concrete wall of the field hospital. Her ears ring as dust and debris rain down around her. Through the smoke, she sees Lance Corporal Tommy Hayes crawling across the floor, blood streaming from his leg where shrapnel tore through his femoral artery. Corpseman. Hayes screams, his voice barely audible over the gunfire erupting outside. Elena rolls to her feet, medical bag in hand. The forward operating base is under assault. Insurgents have breached the outer perimeter. She can hear automatic weapons fire getting closer. She reaches Hayes and immediately applies pressure to his wound. "Stay with me, Marine. You're going home." The compound's lights flicker and die. Emergency lighting casts everything in hellish red shadows. Elena works by feel, her fingers finding the pressure points to slow Hayes' bleeding. Heavy boots pound down the corridor outside. Not American boots, these have a different rhythm, different weight distribution. Elena recognizes the sound from her 3 tours. Insurgents. She drags Hayes behind an overturned medical cabinet just as armed figures burst through the hospital entrance. 5 men in tactical gear, weapons raised, searching for targets. Elena draws her sidearm, a Beretta M9 she's never had to fire in combat. Her job is saving lives, not taking them. But Hayes is losing blood fast, and these men aren't here to provide medical assistance. The lead insurgent spots Hayes' blood trail and follows it toward their hiding spot. Elena waits until he's 3 feet away, then puts 2 rounds center mass. The man drops, his weapon clattering across the floor. His 4 companions immediately converge on her position. Elena grabs Hayes under the arms and drags him deeper into the hospital. The wounded Marine is semi-conscious, mumbling about his daughter's birthday party next week. "You're going to make that party?" Elena tells him, checking his pulse. Weak but steady. Gunfire erupts behind them as the insurgents shoot up the medical supplies, destroying 4 bags and surgical equipment. Elena knows the psychology, they want to eliminate the base's medical capability before the main assault. She pulls Hayes into the surgery prep room and barricades the door with a medical cart. Through the small window, she sees the insurgents methodically destroying everything that could save American lives. Hayes grabs her arm. "Doc, my leg." "I know. Stay quiet." Elena applies a tourniquet above the wound. Hayes needs surgery within the hour, or he'll lose the leg. Assuming they survive that long. Something metallic clanks against the door. Elena recognizes the sound, a fragmentation grenade with the pin pulled, spoon still attached. They're breaching. She covers Hayes with her body as the explosion blows the door inward. Smoke fills the room. Elena's vision blurs, her ears ring, but she's alive. 3 insurgents storm through the breach, their weapons sweeping the room. The leader, a tall man with scarred hands, speaks rapid Arabic to his companions. Elena understands enough to know they're looking for wounded Americans to execute. She positions herself between Hayes and the insurgents, her pistol raised. "No," she says in Arabic. "You want him, you go through me." The scarred man laughs. "American woman playing soldier. You think you can stop us?" "I think I can try." The scarred man draws a combat knife, 8 inches of serrated steel. "Bullets are too quick for infidels. I prefer the blade." Elena fires twice. Both rounds hit center mass, but the man's body armor absorbs the impact. He staggers but keeps advancing. She fires again. The 3rd round catches him in the shoulder, spinning him around, but he doesn't drop. Instead, he smiles and continues forward. Elena's slide locks back on an empty magazine. She's out of ammunition. The scarred man lunges with his knife. Elena catches his wrist, redirecting the blade away from her chest. They struggle, strength against strength, training against desperation. The knife slides between her ribs, the first wound. Elena gasps but maintains her grip on his wrist. She can't let him reach Hayes. The scarred man drives his knee into her stomach, doubling her over. The knife finds her again, 2nd wound just below the 1st. Blood soaks through her uniform blouse. Elena headbutts him, breaking his nose. Blood streams down his face as he staggers backward. But he recovers quickly and slashes across her forearm, 3rd wound. Hayes tries to sit up behind her. "Doc, get out of here." "Stay down." Elena blocks another knife thrust, but the blade cuts across her palm, 4th wound. Her grip weakens from blood loss. The scarred man grabs her by the throat and drives the knife into her side, 5th wound, deeper than the others. Elena feels the blade scrape against her ribs. She's losing consciousness from blood loss, but Hayes is still breathing behind her. Still alive. Still counting on her to keep him that way. Elena grabs a scalpel from the surgical tray and drives it into the scarred man's neck. He releases his grip on the knife, clutching at the wound as arterial blood sprays across the room. The remaining 2 insurgents raise their weapons, but Elena is already moving. She tackles the nearest one, sending them both crashing into the medical equipment. A knife blade punches through her back, 6th wound. Elena arches in pain but doesn't let go of her attacker. She drives her elbow into his solar plexus, doubling him over. The final insurgent appears behind her, knife raised for a killing blow. Elena can't move fast enough to avoid it. The blade slides between her shoulder blades, 7th wound. Elena collapses to her knees, her vision graying at the edges. But Hayes is still alive. Still breathing. She did her job. The insurgent raises his knife for the finishing blow when automatic weapons fire erupts from the corridor. American voices shouting tactical commands. Marines flood into the surgery room, their rifles cutting down the remaining insurgents in seconds. Elena collapses as combat boots surround her. Corpsman down. We need medical evac now. Hands lift her onto a stretcher. She fights to stay conscious as they carry her toward the landing zone where a medevac helicopter waits. Hayes. She whispers. He's alive, document. You saved him. Elena loses consciousness to the sound of rotor blades. Elena wakes in a hospital bed in Germany. Bandages cover her torso, arms, and back. Every breath sends fire through her chest, but she's alive. A nurse checks her for drip. You've been out for 18 hours. The doctors weren't sure you'd make it. Hayes. The Marine you protected? He's in surgery but he'll keep his leg. You got that tourniquet on just in time. Elena nods and closes her eyes. Mission accomplished. The nurse leaves her alone with her thoughts and her pain medication. Elena drifts between sleep and waking, her dreams filled with the sound of knife blades and gunfire. A commotion in the hallway wakes her. Voices, lots of them. Heavy boots on linoleum floors. The sound of disciplined movement. Elena sits up in bed, ignoring the pain that shoots through her torso. Through her window, she sees a convoy of military vehicles in the hospital parking lot. Humvees, transport trucks, even a few tanks. The door to her room opens. A Marine colonel enters, his dress blue uniform crisp and perfect. Behind him, Elena can see a corridor packed with Marines in full dress uniform. Petty Officer Rodriguez, the colonel says, his voice formal but respectful. I'm Colonel Marcus Stone, commanding officer, 2nd Marine Division. Sir. Elena tries to sit at attention, but the colonel waves her back down. At ease, petty officer. You've done enough. Stone steps aside, revealing the corridor behind him. Elena's breath catches in her throat. 100 Marines stand in perfect formation, filling the hospital hallway. Their dress blue uniforms gleam under the fluorescent lights. Every ribbon, every medal, every brass button is perfectly placed. They stand at attention, silent as statues, their eyes fixed straight ahead. But Elena can see the respect in their bearing, the honor they're showing her. Word of what you did spread through the Corps, Colonel Stone explains. Every Marine here volunteered to come. They wanted to honor you personally. Elena stares at the sea of uniforms, overwhelmed. Sir, I was just doing my job. No, petty officer. You were doing our job. You embodied what every Marine strives to be, faithful, loyal, and willing to sacrifice everything for your brothers in arms. Colonel Stone produces a small box from his pocket. By order of the Commandant of the Marine Corps, you are hereby awarded the Navy Cross for extraordinary heroism in combat. Elena's eyes fill with tears as Stone pins the medal to her hospital gown. The Navy Cross, the second highest decoration for valor, typically reserved for Marines and sailors who perform acts of extraordinary heroism in combat. Sir, I'm Navy medical. I'm not even a Marine. Colonel Stone smiles. Today you are. The Commandant has authorized your honorary induction into the United States Marine Corps. You've earned the title, Corpsman. The 100 Marines in the hallway execute a perfect about-face and begin marching in formation. As they pass Elena's door, each one snaps a crisp salute in her direction. Elena struggles to sit up and return their salutes, tears streaming down her face. These warriors, these Marines who have seen the worst that combat can offer, are saluting her. The procession continues for 10 minutes. 100 Marines, each one acknowledging her sacrifice, her courage, her willingness to die protecting one of their own. When the last Marine passes, Colonel Stone turns back to Elena. There's something else, Corpsman? Sir? Lance Corporal Hayes sends his regards. He's being transferred here for rehabilitation. Says he owes you his life. Elena wipes her eyes with her uninjured hand. How is he? Alive because of you. The doctors say he'll make a full recovery. He'll be back with his unit in 6 months. Colonel Stone heads toward the door, then pauses. One more thing, corpsman. The Corps takes care of its own. Always. If you ever need anything at all, you call this number. He hands her a business card with a direct line to Marine Corps headquarters. Sir, why? Why all this for one Navy corpsman? Colonel Stone's expression grows serious. Because you took 7 knife wounds protecting a Marine. Because you put his life before your own without hesitation. Because you proved that courage isn't about the uniform you wear, it's about the heart that beats underneath it. He snaps a final salute. Semper Fi, Marine. Elena returns the salute as best she can from her hospital bed. Semper Fi, sir. Colonel Stone leaves, his boot steps echoing down the now empty corridor. Elena lies back against her pillows, staring at the Navy cross pinned to her hospital gown. 7 stab wounds. 7 scars she'll carry for the rest of her life. But 100 Marines standing at attention in a hospital corridor. 100 warriors showing respect for a Navy medic who did what needed to be done. She closes her eyes and lets the pain medication carry her towards sleep. Tomorrow she'll begin the long process of healing, of physical therapy, of learning to live with the scars. But tonight, she's surrounded by the knowledge that she saved a life. That Tommy Hayes will make it to his daughter's birthday party. That sometimes doing your job means being willing to die for it. The door opens quietly. Elena opens her eyes to see Lance Corporal Hayes being wheeled into her room. His leg is in a cast, but he's awake and alert. Doc, he says quietly. They told me what you did. 7 times that bastard stuck you and you never backed down. Just doing my job, Marine? Hayes shakes his head. No, ma'am. You were being a Marine. Colonel Stone told me about your honorary induction. Welcome to the Corps document. Elena smiles through her exhaustion. Thank you, Lance Corporal. Tommy. My name's Tommy. And Doc? My little girl's birthday party is next weekend. I'd like you to be there if you're feeling up to it. Elena nods. I'll be there, Tommy. Wouldn't miss it. Outside her window, the convoy of Marine vehicles begins pulling away from the hospital. But the respect, the honor, the brotherhood they demonstrated will stay with Elena forever. She got stabbed 7 times protecting an injured soldier. The next morning, 100 Marines stood at her doorstep. Today she learned what it truly means to be part of the Marine Corps family. Semper Fi.